Hi everybody, today I wanted to do a piercing related video on all of the piercings that I have on like frequently asked questions, on all the ones that I have, the ones that I have had, all the ones that I've retired, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I've done videos like this in the past, but I have not done an updated one. It's been a long time, so I figured I'd go ahead and do it. So as many of you know, I have piercings, and currently I have 6 piercings right now. I have double lobe piercings on each ear. I have my conch on my right ear, and I have my nose piercing, and I have had my helix double pierced helix at one point. I have had my upper helix pierced. I've had that one done a couple of times. I've had my rook done at one point, and I have had my belly button done. I had that one done twice, and that one was the only one that rejected, but all of the other ones that I don't have anymore are ones that I actually took out, that you're not seeing right now are ones that I took out because for other reasons that I actually had taken out that I will get into. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into like frequently asked questions. For these, it's not really going to necessarily be on lobe piercings just because I don't really get a lot of questions in regards to those, so I just won't. A lot of questions are going to be more or less on like the belly button piercing, conch piercing, nose piercings, and those piercings. So the main questions that I get are, why did you take out the ones that you don't have right now? And those I took out were because I had either like x-rays or CT scans or whatever, and those were like in a lot of like in close relations to each other, and between like taking out the actual jewelry and putting in retainers, it just caused like a lot of friction and problems and irritation in the actual piercings, more or less the helix piercings, and it just caused way too much problems. So I ended up just retiring them, and because I had that one pierced, I think around roughly 4 or 5 times, I just decided to let it be and not go back to it, and just decided that I was just gonna not bother with it anymore. I am in thought of trying to figure out like another piercing that I want to do on this ear and all of that. Going to the rook on this ear, the reason why I took that one out was because when I originally had got it done, kind of going along with that same question as why I don't have it anymore, is the piercer that I originally had gone and done, or had it done with, had put a piece of jewelry in that originally was not really the right length, so I couldn't go in and clean it properly, and it didn't get infected or anything. And so within the first week, sorry, I have something like in my eye, but within the first week of having my rook done, I just felt like I really couldn't clean it properly. So I went back to him and said, look, you know, I can't clean it and it's getting really irritated. So he went in and I feel like he really wasn't at that point really experienced, and I'm sure he's fine. He had all of his paperwork and everything. He was qualified, but I just feel like he wasn't experienced enough. So he put in a gauge that was not the same gauge as the piercing that I had in there. And so he put in the wrong gauge and one that was a piercing that was way too long, or a piece of jewelry, not a piercing, but he put in jewelry that was way too long. So it just, long story short, everything was just, it didn't go well. I had left it in for about a year, and after a year it still wasn't fully healed, and no matter what I did, it just was continuously irritated, and it just wasn't getting any better. I don't know why I still have something in my eye, but no matter what I did, even after like a full year, it was still so sore. Like, it was so sore to the point of like it felt like I had just got it done. So I figured I might as well just take it out, let it heal. I would like to get another one done, another rook, probably on my right ear, and go from there because I think they're really cute, really fun. So in that regard, that is why I don't have that. But that is why I don't have that one anymore. But so that is all that I have for that one. Another question that I had with a rook is, do they hurt when you lay down? And for me, they did not, or it didn't bother me. It didn't get in the way of anything. It didn't, like when I would brush my hair, it didn't get in the way. It was, for me, it was painful when I got it, just because of the location of it, because of where it would go in, like the needle going in, because it's, for me, it was like a thick piece of cartilage, but otherwise, I didn't really have like much pain with it or anything. So otherwise, for me, it was relatively painless. So moving on to the conch, which, if you don't know what that is, it is the piercing that goes through the cartilage here on your ear, right through here, the thick part of your ear. When I first got that done, I had just had a stud that went through, and I'm just having all sorts of problems with my left eye today, so you'll just have to forgive me on it. So for the piece of jewelry, I did not, if I can get my hair out of the way, I did not have the horseshoe that you're seeing in there today. I just had a stud that went through, and that by far was the most painful one that I had done. Not the actual piercing itself, but it was day 2 through 14 was by far the most painful. I still, every now and again, you would get this with any cartilage piercing, but every now and again it does get kind of irritated when I lay on it, but again, you'll get that with any cartilage piercing. But I get a lot of questions on, does it hurt? As you can tell, I can tug on it, I can move the jewelry around, it doesn't hurt me. I can change the jewelry. I'm not going to do it now because to take the balls on and off is such a pain, but I can take the jewelry in and out without any problems. It is completely healed. That one took probably, I'm going to say about 14 months to completely heal. And out of all the piercings that I've had thus far, I would say that one is probably my second favorite. The Rook was my first favorite that I've had, but this one is one of my favorites to have, and it is different and unique, I think, and it's just, I don't know, it's cute, and I think a lot of people can pull it off, and it's just, it's different, it's cute, and I like it, and there's a lot of different types of jewelry that you can wear in it. I personally like having a horseshoe in it, just because it's something that I like, and other questions that I might get on it is, you know, like how painful was it to get? Again, for me, the actual piercing itself really wasn't that bad. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say it was like a 2. It was more or less the healing process, but again, everybody was different. And the last one, or not the last one, but the my brain is just going in like 50,000 different directions. The next piercing I want to talk about is the nose piercing. That one is the one that I get the most questions on by far, and it is usually from the older generation, usually, but a lot of questions come from people that don't have nose piercings, that contemplate getting nose piercings, and a lot of them ask, does it hurt? And I always reply back, what do you mean, does it hurt? And I ask, do you mean, does it hurt now? No, it doesn't hurt now. Did it hurt when I got it? Not really. Like, obviously a needle went through a part of me, so yeah, it kind of hurt, but like, it didn't, again, it wasn't really like, it wasn't painful, like it was just more of like a little bit of like a stinging sensation, but it wasn't like painful. Another question that I get a lot is, how do you blow your nose? I put a tissue up to my nose and I blow it. I mean, like, how else do you blow your nose? Like, a lot of people say, oh, I don't know, like, I don't think I could ever have my nose pierced because, like, I get a cold, or I think I would be picking my nose a lot or whatever, and I guess I can understand that because I always used to think the same thing, but, you know, ever since I got my nose pierced, I mean, like, yeah, there's times where you want to make sure your nose is clean, but you're not constantly with your finger up your nose, picking your nose or whatever. It's just, you know, you become used to having your nose pierced. I swear I'm not normally like this. My eye, it's like allergies or something. But anyways, it's like you become used to having like all of your piercings. So it's like when you have your nose pierced, it becomes a part of like, it becomes a part of your face. So it's like you're not constantly picking your nose. So I don't know, like, I guess it's for those that don't have your nose pierced. You don't understand the concept of having your nose pierced, so you'd think that you're constantly picking your nose or like worrying about having something there in your nose or on your nose or whatever. I've had mine pierced for like 4.5 years now, so I'm just used to having a piercing there, so I'm not worried about, I'm just not worried about like how to deal with it, I guess. So I don't know. And the last piercing that I wanted to touch base with on is the belly button piercing. I originally had it done, I think it was February of 2014. I had it done just because I had wanted to have it done, and I had it done the first time around for, I think it was like 5 weeks or so, 4 or 5 weeks, and it rejected. And if you don't know what that means, definitely just be aware, but you can look for it on YouTube. And mine had actually, if I had left it in any longer, it actually would have come through fully through the skin. I had waited for my body to heal, and I had done it, had it pierced again at a different shop, and that time had lasted, I want to say about 4 months before it had rejected again, and it had nothing to do with weight or any way that I was treating it or taking care of it. It was just the way that my body had wanted to heal. It just didn't want to have anything to do with having a piercing there. It just, again, it was not weight-wise. It was just my body did not want to, my body didn't want to have the piercing there. It felt like it was, sorry, I'm just kind of trying to multitask right now. But my body just didn't want to have to deal with having a piercing. It was trying to heal. It felt like there was something, it felt like it was trying to heal, and by pushing out the piercing, it was trying to get rid of, like, the odd man out, if you will, and pushing it out, if that makes any sense. So that's just the way it was. And a lot of people would ask me, like, why would you ever go and do it again if it rejected the first time? And I would always reply back, it wouldn't always happen a second time. Odds are, like, if it happened once, it wouldn't always happen a second time. But a lot of times, if it did happen the first time, it would a second time, but you never know. So I wanted to try it again. So you never know. So yeah, that's all I wanted to kind of touch base with on my piercings, kind of a little bit of a history on them. I do go into more of an in-depth with each one on my channel. Definitely go and check them out. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Excuse me. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Definitely, if you did, hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you enjoyed it, if you want to see more videos like this. And if you are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, as I do make new videos. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.